Kia ora tātou, and thank you very much, Linda. Thank you, everybody, for being here today, especially those who've travelled from outside of Wellington, and particularly those who have worked extremely hard to bring together an extraordinary achievement in the form of the School Lunch Collective. Today is not so much an announcement as a celebration of a new way of doing business in government, where a disparate group of people from the public service, from community groups and from business have come together to produce a result that is better than what we had and costs half as much. That is no small feat to be achieved, and it has been achieved by people working together, breaking down their silos that we traditionally see between business, community and government, and getting together to achieve something for the children, for the taxpayers and for the providers. And I ask myself, how has that been possible? I think it's because everybody who forms part of the School Lunch Collective, everybody who's worked on this from the Ministry of Education, and everybody from the Expert Advisory Group have a deep commitment to New Zealand's future and understand that the way to contribute is to invest in the knowledge and the skills of the next generation. By allowing the Healthy School Lunch program to continue in a way that's fiscally sustainable, they have ensured that students who are in the lower 25% in terms of need will show up at school and be given healthy school lunches that continue to meet the nutritional standards of the Healthy School Lunch program, but are achieved at a rate of $3 per meal. That is what has been achieved. And I particularly want to mention a number of the people here who have gone way above and beyond to achieve in a compressed time frame what many people did not believe was possible. The first is the Expert Advisory Group that we appointed. A number of the members are here, and on their behalf I want to just give a very small token of appreciation from me to the chair of that group. If you have a problem that you want solved and you need it done quick and you need a whole lot of people to work together and play nice, or else, then Steph is the person that you need. See, there's a lot of the people she was negotiating against are all nodding. Then Steph Arabanga is the person to hire. I also point out fellow engineering graduate, always a useful type of person to get, and she really has pulled together the most amazing group and the most amazing process to do it on time under budget. So no burden to the taxpayer, I might add. Steph, could you please come forward, and we just want to show. Everybody who's been in this project knows exactly what I'm talking about. But it wasn't just the civil society, the people that step forward from their day jobs to volunteer on the Expert Advisory Group. They're also extremely well supported by the Ministry of Education, and I particularly want to thank a couple of people. I suspect our acting secretary may have thought the flowers were for her for surviving a whole week in the role, which is very noble, but this is specifically about the school lunch program. I want to first of all call up Linda Purewa Watson. She is someone I work with on the school attendance as well on the Healthy School Lunch program, and she's one of three people in particular I don't think that we could have done this without. So Linda, please come up. And finally, I want to thank the bad cop. Every outfit needs a bad cop. I happen to have done a few negotiations myself, and there is an art to it. We on the government side, representing the Ministry of Education, and I'm just looking for Aditi. Where is Aditi? She's here. Oh, there you are. Aditi was bad cop, was the negotiator, and I can tell you that while everybody is here for the greater good, getting down to brass tacks and getting such a good deal that would work for the taxpayer, would work for the children, and could work for the school lunch. It's always a problem when you change a name. The School Lunch Collective has required really skilled negotiation on both sides, and so I'd like to welcome up Aditi Black. Amazing. Thank you very much. Thanks.
This is bigger than me.
Well, that was the smallest bunch we could get. So it was sort of slightly generous, would you believe? There's a lot of florists support this government. I want to finally conclude just by reiterating what's been achieved here. For people who were worried that the school lunch program would be cancelled, it continues. For people who wanted us to save taxpayer money, we have reduced the cost by half. And for people who are looking for a little bit of hope in New Zealand, we've shown what's possible when you tear up the scripts, get people in the room and do things differently. You can actually produce results that nobody thought was possible, not just shaving off 5%, but actually doing it better, doing it smarter with a new model and shaving off 50% to get a better result for less cost. That has been just an extraordinary achievement, and it gives me great hope for New Zealand because we look at so many of our challenges and they seem insurmountable, and yet if we're able to take this sort of out-of-the-box thinking, greater collaboration, I believe there are many more problems that we are capable of solving than simply the one that we've solved today, important and impressive as it is. And in fact, it bears repeating that had the previous government adopted this scheme from the very beginning of the Healthy School Lunch program, the total savings would have been $861 million. That is $861 million of debt on the government books right now we wouldn't have if only this approach had been adopted from day one. If you want to get some sort of a sense of what this group has achieved, I was talking to Steph chairing the expert advisory group, and I said you should have negotiated 1% at the beginning, but actually they've done it purely out of the goodness of their heart. And if you're worried about can we do things smarter and raise productivity in New Zealand, well again, these businesses have shown that there's always got to be a better way, and if you do it smarter, then you can be vastly more productive than people had otherwise thought. That leaves a few more speeches for people to go through some of the technical detail, what this will mean for different school types and locations, how the program will work. There'll also potentially be some representatives of these fabulous businesses who make up the collective to speak, or at least be represented here. And with that, I thank you all for this fantastic project, and what a wonderful celebration today is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. I think now Mr. Sean Teddy, please.
Kia ora koutou, ko Sean Teddy tōku ingoa. I'm the Deputy Secretary responsible for the Food and Schools program in the Ministry. Kia ora, Minister, thank you. I would like to reiterate that from the Ministry's perspective, working in a different way with experts from the private sector, with commercial acumen, with huge commitment, with similar values as far as wanting to get the right outcomes for children, was a great process, and we wouldn't have achieved the results without the collective efforts of the expert advisory group. So thank you, Steph and team. Also thank you to Compass and Labelle and Foodstuffs and some of the iconic companies that have swung in behind this program. Again, not in it to make the big bucks, but actually in it to make a real difference for kids in New Zealand, so thank you. Finally, I'd also like to acknowledge a number of school leaders, a number of practitioners of the Food and Schools program who have given us their insights and their advice as we've gone around the country testing how we could do this. That's been valuable insight and really contributed to the design of the model. So we have a couple of models now. We have an external model where schools can identify, based on their role, what kids are going to be at school over a period of time, and they will receive largely hot meals delivered every day. Those meals will come in these beautiful thermal containers which keep the meals hot for a significant period of time. The children get to eat those meals, and then we swing in and we take away the waste in the containers, and we do that every day. Some schools currently have an internal model program where they make their own lunches with a very wide variety of price points. What we're moving to is a model where those schools are able to access a very transparent set of prices that will be wholesale as opposed to being retail in the previous model, supported by these companies at a $4 price point where they can see exactly how much each recipe costs, what they can get for it, and how they can deliver that to their kids. As we were working through this program, we were looking at a hybrid model for some schools where they would have both. The strong feedback we got was that that would be too burdensome for schools, so we've made it a pretty binary choice between an internal or external model. There's a lot more work to do over the coming months. I know that schools in particular and school communities will have quite detailed questions about how this will work in practice. As a first step, all schools in the program, which is over 1,000 now, will be contacted by the Ministry today, outlining exactly what these changes mean for them, and being invited to meet with us through webinar, through face-to-face, through written contacts over the next week, so we can make sure that this model works really well and we're completely set up for Term 1 next year. We'll also provide schools with some information that they can give directly to parents so they can see what the changes mean for them and for their kids. So thank you, Minister, for laying out this challenge not that long ago. And it's been a great process to get this far, and thank you to all those involved. Kia ora.